welcome to Musical Intelligence. I know it's been a while since I've posted anything. Been busy with schoolwork, teach at school, so that happens. If you work in the school system, you know what I'm talking about. So, got a new guitar, kind of a bizarre thing, which is stuff that I prefer. It's a 1970, according to the seller, Gibson Deluxe with mini humbuckers. That is not a gold top, and that has a one-piece body with small volute. So I'm really curious to see, first of all, how legit this thing is. The guy's from Canada, seller's from Canada, I bought it on Reverb. He says, talk to him on the phone. He says he's been doing this for years, that he's got a fairly expensive collection at home. That he bought this with a bunch of other stuff from a guy in Michigan. And that this guitar has been sitting in a closet for years. And the previous owner was a bar musician, a bar band musician that used it extensively in the 80s hair metal days. So, which is surprising to me because from what I could see in pictures, there are no additional routing in the pickup cavities. So normally you would expect a Deluxe with mini hums to get the Tom Scholl's treatment from Boston, where one of the pickups would be enlarged to full humbucker size to allow for more power and to deal with higher gain amps, especially in the 80s. But this one seems to be all stock. So I'm uncovering it as we speak. Had it for a couple of days. Been too busy at work to deal with it, and I wanted to do some kind of an unboxing video. So I'm using the camera mic. I do apologize if it sounds crap. I'll try to be as clear as I can in my explanations and my description of the thing. And I'll keep an eye on the computer screen to see that I'm mostly in focus. On this part of the video, or if this is a separate upload I haven't decided yet, I won't be playing the guitar. I'll be doing a physical review. See what state it's in, if it's original and so on. Next part of the video, or the next upload, I'll be doing the same thing I did with the other guitars. I'll be playing it through my Peters amp and my Torpedo Capture X, remote Capture X. So case looks original for the era. Got the Gibson logo. Alright, so let me get that in focus. Yep, you can see that. That's pretty good. Going to turn the monitor screen a little bit so I can see it while I talk. Alright, let's get this baby here. I'm just going to crop the screen a little bit so you can see better. It's good. Even better. Here we go. So, alright. Latch. So 5 latch case. This is which bodes well. Alright, so a no gold top as promised. Tobacco burst. No flame maple top, just a plain natural top, which I kind of like, actually I kind of prefer. Different color knobs, gold and ambers. So I am assuming those were changed because on the Deluxe I should see top hats or reflector knobs if you prefer. Alright, let's get this baby up. So, dot on the eye, get that dot on the eye, Les Paul closer to the truss rod cover, small volute, turn that a little bit, small volute, a little bit of crack. I knew about that. Tuners have been changed. He told me about that as well. I'm trying to make some sense of the serial number. Looks like a 6 in the middle, 185650, made in USA stamp. Try to get the light reflection out of it. Yeah, so you can always pause it. Finish seems original. A couple of dings on the neck. Back is not bad. I've seen worse. I've seen a lot worse. So I'm pretty happy with that. One piece, as promised. So that part's true. So no pancake on this baby. It's heavy. He told me it was a 10-pounder, and I totally believe it. Now, I made a comment to him when I saw the guitar in pictures and we talked about it on the phone. And I found that realized that the pickup cavity was a little bit larger than the pickup rings for the humbuckers, for the mini humbuckers. And he told me that at the time, during the transitional era, they would grab the mini humbuckers from the Epiphone line because they haven't tooled up for Gibson made mini humbuckers, and they would use those pickups and put them the cavities for P90s. So that explains why the gap in the routing, let me try to center this, is a little bit bigger. So it's not the routing that's at fault, it's the cream ring that's not quite big enough to match the routing. Makes sense. That era of Gibson is really weird and different. Nice board. Fretboard's nice. Needs some serious treatment, oil treatment. But it's nice Brazilian board. The frets are in decent shape. No frets browning and binding. It's pretty good. Man, it's a good guitar. What they say, use but not abuse. 3-piece neck. Alright. Let me get rid of the tape. Oops. Yeah, sorry, I took the camera for a spin. Alright. Yeah, so let's get the bubble wrap out of it. The guard. Check. Some kind of cable that I don't know. Probably not original. I wouldn't assume that they gave cables with guitars at the time. So I got the pick guard. Got the bracket. Some kind of a pick. Probably left over from the previous owners. Alright, so let's get this case out of the way. And try not to drop the guitar in the meantime. So let's get this bad boy here. Alright. Now, the other thing that struck me is the beauty of the grain pattern on the back. I'll rotate it slowly, but it's a really beautiful piece of mahogany. So I'm trying to get the light to dance a little bit on it. Alright, so I think I'm missing a tip. There's a metal tip here that's removable. So I'm assuming God damn it. Let me get that back. So I'm assuming that the original tip cracked on the pickup selector, and that they got fed up with cracking them and they put a metal one on it. I got a bunch of replacements, I'm not worried about that. I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me. All right. So electronics. Now let's grab a screwdriver and let's see if we can dig those pots. Let's do. What is this thing? Here we go. All right. Wait. Not too big. All right. Let's see if we get a surprise in there. Now we've unboxed the guitar, we'll unbox the cavity. So if the pickups haven't been replaced, I shouldn't find any surprises in the electronics cavity. It should be good as gold. Should be original. I shouldn't see some weird cold solder joints. I kind of like the vibe of this guitar. I like the few scratches. It's like original relic. Or something. No cracks except for that wing at the bottom of the tuners. Alright, let's try to have. Ta-da! Okay. Well, I know that's been replaced. Right, so obviously that's not original. I don't think it is. I see some weird stuff going on. Let's get some readings. I see a 70-034, 37-78-30, 079. 77, 78, 78. Okay, so let me do a quick search. I'll pause this and I'll get back to you before I do any other stupid narrating mistakes. Right, resuming this, bot code say 1377830. So those would be 77, 78, 79 pot codes, probably 77, 78. Now obviously those pots have been changed. I mean the knobs were replaced, so it's not a complete surprise. Obviously solder is different, so that's not manufacturing facility quality. So that's been replaced, we know that. Well, again, the bridge is screw in wood type, but let me flip it the other way. So it is early, no wires on the bridge, no nylon saddles either. The string slipped. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna have to loosen the strings anyway. Oh man, the nut is all kind of messed up on this thing. Wow. Okay. Let me have a look at this. Let me show you this. I'll try to get a little closer. There we go. So that calls for a new nut. I mean, that's not the original nut anyway. Let me slide here. So that's going to need a new nut. Yeah, that's all sort of messed up. Okay, slide that here. Let's go have a look at those pickups. Again, I'm going to save you the hassle of me winding down the strings. Alright, I've unscrewed the pickups. Take a look under. I had a surprise too, which I did not know about, but just did a little bit of research on it. I'll unhook the camera from the ceiling and show you what the heck is going on. Let's do this here. Here we go. So, before I do the pickups, let's do that tenon. Let me shed some light on the matter. Here we go. So, a little bit surprised to find this gap, which to me is fairly big. I mean, you would assume it's a hack job. Well, it probably is, but at the factory, not from a third-party owner or third-party luthier. So that's what they call a transitional tenon, neck tenon. So this would be before they went from the long tenon to the short rocker tenon. So they would do a full long tenon, but they would cut the tongue at the bottom of it. And then try to get some better lighting and a better angle with the camera. Here we go. So there's a little bit of a gap. In some cases, they would put a little bit of spacer wood to make you believe it was a fully long tenon with a full tongue. But this one doesn't have this, so I guess the employee was just cutting corner, or the rumor that this is an employee guitar would probably be confirmed because he just figured, heck, I'm not putting it in a shop, it's for me. So that's what the owner told me from talking to Grun and Norm's Rare Guitars, is that this was probably an employee guitar. And, well, it's a weird, I mean, I like it. It's a weird guitar, but the tenon is definitely not what I was expecting to find, which makes it even weirder, or rarer, for that matter. So that's the tenon part. So, transitional neck tenon. Pickups appear to be original. I mean, I compare some pictures. They look legit. They haven't messed around. The solder on the screws still there. Washer. That's some good quality assembly. I mean, solder on screws. I never thought of it. And it's fine by me, actually. I like it. So that's the bridge. Neck pickup. I do apologize for the angle. The wire is kind of short, probably from replacing the electronics in it. So those two look legit. Let me hook the camera back up and lower it a little bit. Here we go. I'm almost as good as Troggett. Not quite. So, rosewood board, trusswood works. Let me lift it a little bit. Non-original knobs. Les Paul logo closer to the trusswood cover than the Gibson logo. Truss rod works. Thank God for that. Grovers instead of Deluxes, which I'll probably revert to. I'm going to have this guitar looked at and fixed, set up by a pro. I'm not going to do that myself. It's too much work involved. It's solid. It's structurally really solid. I didn't find any cracks in it. I'll just take a second to re-screw the humbuckers, the mini humbuckers, tighten the strings up, and do a final once over to finish this part of the video. Alright, wrapping up the unboxing of the 70s Deluxe one-piece body. I've tightened the strings back up. Tuners were fine. They're a little bit loose, but I fixed that. So, non-original Rotomatics, growers, A little bit of a crack on one of the wings here. That's the only separation I can see. There are no breaks in the volute, no smiley faces. I'm going to try not to drop it. I'll leave it as it is. Part of the serial number is really hard to read. Let me flip that around. Might be a little bit easier for you guys. Made in USA, barely legible, barely. A few finished dings on top of the headstock. A little bit of lacquer left. Not major. Alright, a switch cavity. Here we go. Switch cavity looks original. I mean, the solder looks great. So I'm assuming when I plug this in it'll work fine. Again, non-original pots. Clearly 77, 78. So at some point in time those were replaced. If I can, I'll try to source some original spec pots to put back into it. I don't know if those should be 500 or 300s. Some pros will probably help me out in the comments. I would greatly appreciate it. That's been shielded. I wasn't shielded before. The bottom plate could be original. The metal plate on which the pots are assembled, but the pots are not it. Grain's great. If I shed some light on this, just to highlight the grain a little bit. No, that's gonna cut it. Like I said, working things out as we go along, building the plane as we fly it. Right, so let's go back to the grain. Take my time. So it's a nice one-piece body. Again, I will show you the switch cavity. So a no center seam, as you would have in the pancake in the body. Edge of the body, all the way around. So a true one piece, a true weird instrument. I mean, that's kind of guitar-like, really oddball. All right, screw-in bridge in the wood. I mean, non-original knobs. Board frets are really flat. It's almost a fretless wonder. Probably won't have it refretted. I kind of like it this way. I'll get the nut changed. The nut is all sorts of messed up. Truss rod works, but it's been badly mangled over the years. I mean, I'm not expecting any tuning stability whatsoever out of this, so that'll be replaced, which is an easy fix for any luthiers. So that's that. 70 one-piece Deluxe, probably employee made with the transitional neck tenon. Put that here. And the next part of the video will be plugging it in, see how it sounds, before I set it to get it detailed and cleaned up and have some parts replaced on it. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
So removing the tuners revealed this. I would normally see, or I should normally see, the outline of the old cloisonne, that kind of hexagonal shape that's to be expected. And I do not see that anywhere on the finish. Secondly, the holes that were patched are patched under the clear finish. There's nothing, it wasn't retouched. I cannot see bare wood. There's clear finish on top of the plugs. And from the Grovers, you see all the imprints that those have left in the finish and in the wood. So I should see two sets of imprints in the finish on the wood. I only see one. I see one hole plug, so I'm assuming they use the other hole for the Grover screws. And it was reamed from the back to allow the thicker shaft of the Grover to go through. But from the front, it wasn't untouched, apart from, you know, the stains from the washers. If I go here, lower, you still see the black on the inside of the hole. So that means that it wasn't, no tools been there. So you see the difference in color between the black and the brown of the mahogany. So the front has been untouched. The back's been reamed. So no Clouson imprints. One hole plugged. So I do not know if those were retrofitted years after the production of the guitar, or if those were put in at the factory, meaning that the guy who built this guitar decided that he wanted Grovers from the get-go and had those little holes plugged before any Clousons were installed on the finish. It's kind of a weird mutt, and I really like it. Thanks a lot for your time, and now I'm really done with this. Have a good day.